Hey guys, Sam with Work Shop, and today I'm going to be installing a switch plate and a sub harness on my Honda Talon side-by-side. So I have the switch plate with voltmeter box here, and it comes with a bunch of stuff. And also I have a sub harness right here, which is apparently something that I'm going to need. They didn't tell me that when I first purchased the switch plate, and really the instructions are pretty vague and not a lot of information to be found online as far as specifics are concerned. So I'm going to be figuring this out. So what they suggest as far as the instructions are concerned is starting by drilling a 1.5-inch hole right there in this little console, and then drilling some other holes once you kind of mark them out. But I've been looking at, apparently got to remove the center console cover and the hood and do a bunch of stuff. I don't know, this is probably going to take some effort. It's always crazy to get a machine like this and start tearing it apart, but I think it'll turn out good. So here we go. Start by removing the hood. When I bought this, I had a long ways to bring it home, and the hood was actually loose. Like, they didn't have these brackets secured. Looks like I haven't even pulled this hood off yet, but looks like that's how it comes off right there, and that's pretty easy. I'm gonna set these down in the spot where it's not gonna get scratched up. I know there's people out there that they're like, well, you got a machine, you might as well use it. Who cares if it gets scratched up? And, you know, more power to those guys. For me, I want to keep it pristine as possible for as long as possible. So there we go. Set it right there on top of the tractor. Make sure it's not going to slip off anywhere. So let's see, we got some of these clips right there. There we go. That comes off pretty easy. Oh yeah, a bunch more pins. And whatever happened to using like screws? You know, seems like everything's plastic nowadays. I think probably the biggest part of this job is just going to be providing access for everything. That's what it's starting to feel like. It's almost like when you're painting a house or something, it's like all masking. Takes you 3 days to mask and then a few hours to spray the paint. But these pins seem to come out pretty easy. Just with a small flathead screwdriver. And there we go, just like that. So for me, what I'm going to do is put all these different pins in Ziploc bags and set everything in a manner where I don't forget what's what. By the way, apparently you're going to need an 1.5-inch hole drill bit, and then what is that, 5/16. So just like that. those go to that. I'm not gonna forget where things go. I'm not gonna lose anything. I'm doing this so I can install different accessories, like a winch and a light bar at some point, and who knows, maybe even a street legal kit. A lot of people would pay someone else to do this, but you know, it's like, hey, no risk, no reward, right? Part of the fun with stuff like this is like doing it yourself, at least in my opinion. So this is the 1.5" hole saw. Or hole bit. And they said to center it up on the left hand side, and I don't want to go too deep. That looks pretty darn centered to me. Just going to take it nice and slow. Tearing the hell out of this thing. I'm going to add a drill bit to the middle of this. So the way that it came, most people know this already, but it looks like this actually has an attachment for a drill bit to be placed inside there. And then it's got a flat head screw right there. So I'm going to get a drill bit, put it in the middle. Alright, so I'm just adding a drill bit right there, and then I'm going to tighten it down. I'm going to drill a small hole. I'm not going to push, I'm not going to go crazy with it until I see what's going on the back side. So I'm just going to drill a small hole right here. And drill a small hole right there with this. Essentially it's a guide. But once this drill bit goes through there, it's going to pretty much lock everything in place, and that way this 1.5" bit is not going to be going all over the place. So let's see how that works. Hopefully it works great. I think it will. This is all going to end up getting covered up anyway, so. Yeah, that's going to be pretty darn clear, it looks like. Yep, that should work out just fine. Make sure that still looks pretty centered. Check it out. Yeah. It might be off just a little bit, but that's pretty well centered on the left-hand portion of this. Worked out good. Basically, here's the back side of the 1.5" hole that I drilled in the console, and light on this GoPro. It's not the greatest. I tried to fit these 5 wires through the hole, but then the bigger plug or adapter didn't want to fit through there with that. So I put the bigger plug in there, and now I'm going to try to fit this other stuff in there. Yeah, there we go. One small victory at a time. I'll show you all what this looks like now. So hopefully this is right, but I left this one outside. I should be able to squeeze it through there if that's wrong, but this is what it looks like inside the cab. Alright, so I got the plug, I got all these, and then I got a positive and a negative, it looks like. Something like that, but look at the gasket. That gasket seems to have fit in there perfectly, and I don't think it's going to be going anywhere.